Good evening and welcome to the September 2nd regular Town Council meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call, please.
Chairperson Phillips.
Present.
Councilor Sims.
Present.
Councilor Willis.
Present.
Councilor Kuch.
Present.
Councilor Gagnon.
Present.
Councilor Lavoy.
Present.
Councilor Seagull.
Present.
Now we'll move on to the acceptance of the August 5th minutes, the August 12th minutes, the August 19th minutes, special and regular Town Council meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion on the minutes?
Chair, my last name is spelled wrong on what appears to be all of the minutes. So if that could just be corrected.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you.
All right.
Or E.
Only 3 years later, right?
All right,
get
thank
there
you.
soon.
All right. All those in favor? 7 yeas. Next, we'll move on to open public communications. This is the time for people from the public to speak to the council regarding items that are not on the agenda. And we'll give about 3 minutes, and if you could just say your name and tell us where you're from.
Good evening. Happy September. Kathy Hamblin, Libby Avenue. The last meeting where the request to consider an addition of 6 acres to the quarry was brought to the council seemed a bit heated, and I've heard from a few directly right afterwards that they hope that the town manager will find a way to help bring everyone to the table for discussions and to ease concerns. That began this past week. Thank you very much. Please understand that all we are residents with a shared concern, trying to find our way through a political maze in regards to a matter that is business for you and personal to us. We have heard that one of our quarries is an exemplar in following state regulations, which we very much appreciate hearing. But we are asking for stricter guidance in our town regulations and oversight. We have brought several ideas throughout the past year to you for consideration, such as required use of measuring tools or particle dust surrounding the quarries and sand pits, in which data is sent consistently and maintained to the town offices as well as the owners. Using smaller detonations when blasting that could be done more often, as there are studies to show that the effects to neighboring homes and wells are greatly reduced. Use of higher berms and lower piles of debris. And there's been several others. We know that the quarries and sandpit businesses are part of our community. We are not asking for you to make them go away. We want to maintain the businesses in our hometown. But we do ask that you take the concerns and well-being of this town's citizens into just as high regard as you do its businesses. We would like to make sure that the town is doing due diligence by its residents and overseeing that safe practices are consistently done and consider additional practices to increase safety of its citizens. Again, we hope to have continued discussions with you all, as well as with the town manager, to continue to learn and share ideas. We hope you will continue to be open to doing so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Charlie Hamblin, I live on Hamblin Drive. Thank you for listening to me again tonight. I'd like to thank Susie Phillips, Lou Sims, and Ephraim, and I can't get your last name right, Ephraim, I'm sorry. So I call you Ephraim P., for meeting with Danny Shaw, Lee Pratt, and 5 members of the Gorham Community Alliance last week. It was a good meeting, healthy give and take, discussions on quarry asphalt plant impacts to neighbors, and the impact Shaw Brothers has had on the town of Gorham. 2 statements from the meeting are my focus tonight. Gorham obtains a substantial discount on aggregate and asphalt from Shaw Brothers, a real benefit for the town. I would like to know how much the savings the town receives. Is that a discount, a trade-off for the limited town ordinances on quarries and no ordinances on asphalt plant? Is Gorham getting enough savings to completely ignore neighbors' complaints from health and safety from the dust, smell, and destruction caused by the blasting? Should these savings be used to reduce real estate taxes for affected neighbors? Also mentioned during the meeting was the quarry employees working in enclosed equipment with air conditioning. Thankfully so. Protecting the health and safety of quarry employees is extremely important. Although the quarry dust, which neighbors see, feel, and breathe is nominal compared to the quarry workers, isn't their health and safety just as important? I would like to call your attention to the Sunday edition of the Portland Press Herald, an article on Italian stonecutters and Hollowell. They carved statues, cut stones to make buildings, and chiseled 200,000 cobblestones for Portland. They labored 7 days a week in exchange for low pay and crowded housing. Some fell ill from lung disease from breathing in the quarry dust. The dangers of quarry dust have been known for a long time. Shaw Brothers are worried about quarry dust impacting their workers. Immigrants from Italy learned the hard way. When will the town of Gorham appreciate quarry dust dangers to the neighbors? Last week, Portland passed an ordinance requiring the coal pile on the waterfront to be covered. Public officials did the right thing, putting health ahead of profit. They were worried about the coal dust floating all over Portland. So why will Gorham not measure dust emissions from the quarries in town? Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else getting up, we will move on to councilor communications. And I will start on my right with Councilor LaVoy. Mix it up.
Caught me off guard. All I have to report is that on September 23rd at 6 p.m., the Town Council Finance Committee will have a joint meeting with the School Committee Finance Committee, and we will meet with the town auditors to go over their annual review. And this meeting is open to the public. We encourage you to attend.
Thank you. Councilor Seal.
Thank you. The Ordinance Committee is moving our time back to the second Thursday at 6 p.m. And that is a virtual meeting, so you can find the information there online if you'd like to attend as a member of the public. And I'd like to thank the other two members of the committee for being willing to move the time back with my current work schedule. That being said, I know we're going to touch on this in a couple minutes, but yes, school is back in session. So make sure that you are driving safely, driving kindly, and the car in front or behind you might be a 16-year-old driving to school for the very first time. So give them a break, give yourself a break, drive slow, especially in the school zones. And also thank you to all of our teachers that are waking up super, super early to get to school and having to go to bed super, super early to get there the next day. I may be projecting a little bit. I'm very excited for the school year. Thank you all.
Thank you. Councilor Sims.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just another scheduling reminder. Also on the third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m., we've got our Capital Improvements and Economic Development Committee meetings. The next one will be Thursday, the 18th of September at 11 a.m. here in Conference Room A. And I want to thank members of the town staff and the school staff, as well as my fellow counselors on the committee. We had a really productive meeting last month in August. We had a good conversation between the school and the town staff about how we can continue to kind of pool resources in terms of community infrastructure that we can help cost effectively maintain and improve, and that's a specific directive that we got from our Fiscal Sustainability Committee, who I would also like to put another shout out to, and looking forward to keeping a smaller unit of that Fiscal Sustainability Committee active moving forward, because I really do think those were great conversations, and I think we're kind of uncovering some information that kind of disproves some of the myths out there about what's driving our tax increases and things like that. And I'm always I'm always interested to hear others' opinions and get more information to help us make more informed decisions. So really looking to keep those conversations moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Gagnon.
Thank you. I'd like to thank USM for hosting us. They had a lot to talk about. Most noteworthy was the new building that they're going to be putting together for the arts. I've always been a big fan of the arts, and this should be a wonderful addition if it comes to fruition. It was a great discussion by all. I'd like to just note the passing of Bill Diamond, who is a great legislative leader, not only for Windham, but for many communities, and a great resource. His passing will be noted.
Thank you. Councilor Kush.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Willis.
The beginning of school marks the end of Summer Food Truck Thursdays, so thank you to staff from the town of Gorham and everybody that volunteered that put that on all summer long. Look forward to it coming back next summer. Also wanted to give a quick reminder, Art on South, put on by the Gorham Village Alliance, is this Saturday, September 6th, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. It's free admission. There'll be 26 artists that will be displaying their work down at Preble Street Common, and there'll be kids' activities put on by Creative Exploration. So hope to see you there.
Thank you. All right, and we'll move on to the town manager's report.
Sorry, caught me off guard as well. Thank you, Madam Chair. Also want to put a reminder out about school being in session. Specifically, do not call my office if you get a ticket in the school zone. So PD is out there in force. It has happened before. Please drive safely. On the topic of public safety, and obviously I got to be careful what I say, I want to recognize and thank our public safety teams, so PD, fire rescue, as well as our mutual aid partners. Sometimes they have to deal with unique situations, and they always have the public's safety in mind. There's a tremendous amount of planning that goes into everything that the public does not see behind the scenes, and today, I think as the public's aware, something like that happens. So I want to thank them publicly for their efforts. Changing gears, Mitchell Hill Road between Gorham and Scarborough is closed for bridge work, as well as a bridge in on North Gorham Road, abutting Wyndham Center Road. Public Works will be hosting its fall brush drop-off days, October 4th and 18th. Those are Saturdays, 8 to 3. Residents only, more information online. Gorham's branding and wayfinding survey is online, so if anyone wants to have input into some of the design concepts that have been worked on, that survey is online, and please feel free to take that. And then lastly, it looks like we were able to claw some PAX funding out of that organization for potential sidewalk improvements up School Street next year. So we're looking to continue the pedestrian lighting as well as some of the sidewalk improvements. That's the tune about $200,000 we found out today. So I want to thank the staff for their effort on going in and fighting for every penny. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, and we'll go to the school committee report.
Hi there, Nicole Yo Fisher, Chair of the School Committee. Before I get started on my report, just like Ephraim said, I want to say a big thank you to the Gorham PD for handling this situation really well today. There was great communication between the police department and the school department, so thank you to them. As we've talked about and been mentioned already tonight, our schools are fully up and running for this new school year. Kindergartners begin tomorrow, so drivers, again, please be careful as families may take a bit more time for those first day photos. I'll be sharing an updated enrollment numbers with the town council in October. We are also rolling out BusRight, which is a new routing system with tablets on every bus. Drivers simply log in and follow the GPS-like turn-by-turn directions, including stop locations and student assignments. The parent app will launch later this fall, offering live tracking and route notifications. Please be patient as we fine-tune this process in the coming weeks. We are excited to welcome 35 new staff members this year. Most of them are replacing retirees or filling open spots. We did have one new budgeted position, so please give them a warm welcome. We also have launched a new athletics app, so follow Gorham Athletics more easily with the new app if you search Gorham Rams Athletics in the App Store or Google Play to download. Events are listed on the website at gorhamschools.org under Departments and Athletics. An update on the high school parking. Parking at the high school is tighter than usual due to the cafeteria modular expansion project, which eliminated the dirt lot, which was approximately 50 spaces. Students must now complete a request form to receive a parking sticker. Note, this does not guarantee a spot, but it ensures liability paperwork is complete. We've added about 16 new spots and introduced a daily shuttle service between the high school, the middle school and the high school to help with the overflow. Once construction is complete of the cafeteria and modular project, that parking lot will be lost and will not be returning. The 2024-2025 State of Schools report is live on our website. It includes data on attendance, achievement, and more. Again, if you go to gorhamschools.org and you click on the Gorham Learning System and then on Annual State of Schools report. And then finally, just to kind of wrap up some class of 2025 highlights, there was a graduate survey that was put out to graduating seniors. Of our graduating seniors, there are 62% of those that are going to a 4-year college, 19% that are going to a 2-year college, 13% are going to employment opportunities, 3% are going into a gap year, 3% are also going into either military, trades, or tech. In regards to academics and experience, 95% of those seniors completed Algebra 2 or higher, 80% completed 2+ levels of a world language, 98% completed their community service, and most engaged in career exploration, internships, job shadows, and Career X. Only 2 students reported not having career-related experiences. 77% of them completed the FAFSA for financial aid. And in regards to some student reflection, there was a strong appreciation for their teachers and their opportunities, but some felt the coursework could be better connected to real-world opportunities. Common themes included resilience, community, and a commitment to support future students.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Any questions for Nicole? Go ahead.
Not to put you on the spot here. So I see that military apprenticeships and technical schools had 6 students. Does that also include maybe the 2-year college for some of the technical school pieces, or no? Or
No,
No?
didn't include that.
Okay. Are we still trying to get more kids into the vocational in Westbrook? And are we able to get more seats, or we have not been able to max them out
they're
still?
at their max, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I look at it and I see the number, and I was kind of hoping it would be more, considering the need in the industries and everything else. So that was it. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions for Nicole? Mr. Sims, go ahead.
Oh, a little bit more of a comment, but just regarding the high school parking situation. Obviously, it's a very stressful, well, where are we going to park all of our cars? I will say that was one thing, town staff helped out a little bit on that, so thank you there. There was some collaboration there. And I will also say, too, examples all over the world, when people, if some parking goes away, eventually people find a way to manage the new reality. So, and if there's anything more we can do to help, I volunteer to help out, and I'd love to, anything we could do to encourage some of the kids to either carpool, or I know it's not cool to ride your bike to school, but, it's never stopped me, but, anything we can do on the town council side to help support that. I recognize it's a challenging situation. I want to try to help come up with constructive solutions there, so.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I have a question, but it may require the superintendent's input.
Sure.
But I'm just wondering about, looking at the 2-year college. I'm assuming most of those are local community college, and I'm curious if we saw an increase in this number when the free community college began, and if you expect to see a decrease as that program has now ended.
Yeah, sure. I'll have Superintendent Perry answer that question.
Yes, good evening. Thank you, Seven, for the question. Yes, we did see a significant increase in the number of students electing to go to a 2-year college initially out of high school when the free college came to us a few years ago at this point in time. We don't know what to expect when that goes away. One would think that a little common sense would say it would go down a little bit just because it's no longer free, but we'll wait and see. We have had a lot of interest amongst our students in going to community college and then going from there to the 4-year degree and saving tuition dollars, which would still be the case. Even though it's not free, it's still much lower tuition. So we'll see what happens.
Okay. And then a quick follow-up, just if you recall, checking your brain here for prior data, with these numbers, was it that the amount of students going to college at all went up. So these were students that might not have normally gone to college that are now going to 2-year because it was free? Or did you see the numbers for 4-year go down as students decided to do 2 years because it was free?
I'm not sure I could differentiate that to that level at this point. I could look deeper into the data to see if I could, but at this point, I don't feel good about answering that question right now. I can get back to you though, so.
Deal.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Superintendent Perry. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Public hearing number 1 on item 2025-9-1. Public hearing to hear comments on a referendum question for the November 4th, 2025 municipal election for the allocation of previous school bond funds, administrator sponsored.
All right, public hearing number 1 is now open. If anyone wishes to speak on this item, please come to the podium. Okay, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing.
Proposed order 2597, order that the town council authorize a referendum question on the November 4th municipal election. Shall the town of Gorham appropriate proceeds of bonds approved by the voters on November 5th, 2024 in the principal amount of $9,494,575 for high school cafeteria, modular phase 1 additions, and the Narragansett Elementary School HVAC for the following additional projects not to exceed the original approved bond amount. High school track replacement estimated at $625,000. Narragansett School ADA bathroom upgrades, repairs and the sprinkler system upgrades estimated at $1,100,000. Village parking overlay and connector construction to White Birch Lane, as well as the Great Falls sidewalk and fire lane repaving estimated at $800,000.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor LaVoy. Did you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I suspect the superintendent may want to weigh in. So the council had a workshop, I forget when, 2-3 weeks ago, joint workshop. And at that workshop, it was because of how the school department was able to bid part of the high school project, there was substantial savings in the overall bond request. I guess to further complicate this and confuse it for people, the FY24 audit has been delayed from the auditors. For us to go out to bond, we need that audit. And we go out to the market, we secure our bonds. We technically have not gone out and procured the money for this project yet. We will. But there's an opportunity to reallocate the savings, and just to be clear, the council could not reallocate and bond at a lower amount, modify that amount, or follow the recommendation or request of the school committee that approximately $2.5 million be reallocated to other projects, capital projects on the list. At the workshop, and this is just a quick summary of that entire conversation, at the staff level, we feel that Public Works could manage some of the projects and change the scope of them for a pretty substantial savings based on the original estimates and proposals, mainly Village Elementary School, deleting a parking lot, connecting it to the rear parking lot, so on and so forth. So we think there could be some savings, and then we'd whittle away at the school department's capital request lists, or capital project planning list, or whatever the terminology is. So that is the item that the council has before you. If you approve this order as is, it goes to the voters. The voters have to, because the voters originally approved this bond package, they need to change it if you're going to modify it. If the voters approve it, we go out to bond and the bond market, and we essentially change the terminology and from the original to this and say this is what the bonds are for. Get the bond, get the money, come back. So hopefully I've thoroughly confused everyone, but I'm happy to answer any questions, as well as Heather.
All right, any questions?
I did just want to make a clarifying question. There was in our physical printed packets that were delivered last week, we had the Village School Conceptual Improvement Plan it's dated 4/14/25. Now this looks a lot like the one that we saw last year, but there was the updated stuff that we talked about at the workshop, which we all seem to be generally more supportive of because it wasn't quite as much new pavement. It's obviously more cost effective. So I just want to make sure those are getting captured somewhere in the record, that the thing we've got here in the packet isn't exactly what we're signing off on.
I'm happy to give a quick summary of that.
Yeah.
So what you got in the packet was the school department's capital concept plans.
Right.
We have not committed to paying for new plans because we don't know if this will pass. The council's going to approve it. It's going to go to the voters. It has to be re-engineered.
Cool.
What you have, or what went out in the council packets, or if anybody in the public is looking at it, is the original plans, which included adding a whole new parking lot,
Yep.
Totally gutting the existing parking lots at Village, repaving them, rebuilding them from scratch, so that what Public Works would do is we would not build that additional new parking lot. We would go in, refurbish and rehab the existing asphalt that was discussed, and then build a driveway connecting the ball field parking lot to the existing parking lots. It provides another means of egress. This was on the long-term plan for that property, but Public Works believes that we can do it more cost-effectively and then tie in with further improvements to the ball field parking lot.
And so after we do the election or the vote in November, assuming if it does get approved, we can have more conversations between town and school staff to figure out how to do that as cost effectively as possible.
Yes, and the one thing I want to point out is this order, if approved by the council and the voters, does not tie those specific projects to that exact amount. So it could be high school track is maybe a little bit more expensive, Village is a little less, so on and so forth. But those projects need to be included in the bond package for voter approval and the bond market.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Councilor Gagnon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we've, I think, identified many years ago, we have many capital items that need to be done in town. And I think they are expensive and honestly take a commitment by everybody to try to ensure that we're putting the right money in the right locations to accomplish what needs to get done for the district in the town. Here, I'm relatively supportive of the asks here with some hesitation on the area around Village. As I've been critical of the Village area in not so much of the school as the roads around it. Any connection to White Birch, I think, is going to create a dogleg or an ability for people to move from New Portland Road to Roby or any of those side or ancillary streets, much like my criticism of the Roby subdivision that everybody remembers here. So I understand wanting or trying to get the egress there. I don't think necessarily it's the best project for the money, but I'll wait to, I guess, listen to other counselors here on that piece.
Okay. Anyone else? Go ahead.
I guess I'm very supportive of doing something. I think it's great that it's a joint project around Village School, especially with that one way in and one way out and the little streets to get there. So I will be supporting this going forward.
Thank you.
Well, I was just going to add, I think that the point Councilor Gagnon raises, it's a tricky one because we talk about the comprehensive plan says like, well, we don't want to have gridded streets and we don't want to have cut-throughs, but at the same time, we don't want to have too much traffic. And so there's trade-offs there. And I don't want to be overly, I don't think my concern with the Village project is that we give over too much to making it super easy for everybody to drop their kid off in an individual car, and then we're just going to end up with more traffic than we had before. I think the challenge there, when you add additional connectivity, it helps alleviate traffic in the Village area generally. But the trick is that the new streets, they have to be designed with safety and the kids' safety as the top priority. The top priority is not moving as many vehicles through those roads as fast as possible. This is a Village street. It is a street for people and kids. That's the priority. So that has to be the top priority in whatever gets designed here. It should not be focused on funneling as many cars through as quickly as possible. because we will end up with worse traffic and more dangerous driving conditions. And that's the opposite of what we want. So that's definitely something we got to stay mindful of as we do these developments around the village school and the surrounding area. And the more we do focus on the street safety, the more it will benefit the whole community. So,
Thank you. Councilor Willis?
Excuse me. Thank you. I would just urge anybody watching now or in the future to go back and watch the joint meeting that occurred. You know, if you're thinking we're not asking a ton of questions or we're not asking Superintendent Perry to come up here to get under the microscope, it's because a lot of this already happened at that meeting. So we've had a lot of these questions already answered. I'll be supporting this. I think it's a wonderful example of collaboration between the town staff and school committee and school staff to try to find ways that we can do projects more cost effectively and save the taxpayers money while moving projects that need to happen to support the schools forward. So appreciate all the work that's gone into it and look forward to supporting it.
Thank you. I guess you took the words out of my mouth about that we've already talked about this and rehashed this, so we probably don't have any more questions about it. I guess I like that the way that this was brought to us, and it was a collaboration already kind of hashed out with staff before it did get to us, so I appreciate that work behind the scenes. I think that's really important, instead of asking us and then we ask you to get together and talk about things. So well done on that. Anybody else have any other questions or comments? Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I'm supportive of this, moving this forward. I think this will also, the connection between the two parking lots in the off times be used as a pretty nice kind of extension to the Crosstown Trail, being able to be used by pedestrians and bicyclists, which I think is pretty great. I do have hesitation over doing bond packages for more pavement, and I will be supportive of this tonight, but it feels bad to be just putting all this, more money, which leads to mill rate increases and all of that, towards pavement, and there's things in the school this money could be going to. And, every year I look at that transportation line item. If we're paying so much for all of these buses, then what is this extra cost for here? So, yeah, I'm supportive in the end.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two disclaimers before the council votes and however you vote on this. One, we will send this specific language back to legal counsel again, just to make sure. So if a word changes or something, whatever you're voting on tonight, we're not going to change the material of it, but it may not look exactly like that. So I just want to have that out there. The other thing is, I think it's going to be very important if this moves forward for us to have a generic information packet, that this is not a additional bond, this is a reallocation of a bond, and to the point of a map or design, what is this? Because we have a very complicated design for the whole parcel. Obviously, this is it's taking a small part of that to make it more effective. So regardless of whatever you do, we're going to have to make sure that we get the information out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to make that clear because our next question is something different. So just to make it clear that we're not borrowing additional money at this point, we're just reallocating money that was already approved by the voters. So just.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just, not to beat a dead horse, but it's a great point Councilor Siegel made. The more pavement and the more additional roads that we build, those are eternal maintenance liabilities that will continue costing all of us taxpayers. So we really have to be thinking about that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna bite. I actually think that in the whole scope of the project, doing it this way may reduce the amount of overall impervious area on the site compared to building a new parking lot. It'll be close. I don't know the exact square footage, but building a brand new parking lot and doing a more cost-effective option may actually reduce that.
That's great. Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Councilor Gagnon?
Yeah, I'm not trying to prolong it. It's more of a technical question. Since we're going to be signing off on these bonds at what is a pretty high rate over the last couple of years, will we be looking to have the bonds convertible where if we want to refinance them, we will be able to down the road, say in 5 years, if bond rates go that direction, or?
Thank you. We can and have looked into that in the past. Sometimes it's just a lot cheaper to go the traditional route. But yeah, we're going to look and see what the market has.
This one's an awful large chunk. Was it 9 million for the whole
About
bond
9
package?
million, a little less than 10 million. So we were optimistic originally that things would level out and get a little less crazy, but here we are.
Any other comments, questions? All right, all those in favor? 7 yeas.
Public hearing number 2 on item 2025-9-2. Public hearing to hear comments on a referendum question for the November 4th municipal election for capital expenditures for road culvert projects, administrator sponsored. Buck Street, $750,000. Hurricane Road, $495,000. Wilson Road, $500,000. Wood Road, $650,000 for a total of $2,395,000.
All right, public hearing number 2 is now open. Anyone who wishes to speak on this item can come to the podium. All right, seeing no one, the public hearing is closed.
Proposed Order 2598, order that the Town Council authorizes a referendum question on the November 4th municipal election for capital expenditures for road culverts projects as follows. Shall the Town of Gorham authorize the issuance of general obligation bonds and/or notes in the anticipation of such bonds, which bonds and notes may be made callable in a principal amount not to exceed $2,395,000, and to appropriate the proceeds thereof, including any bond premium and investment earnings, for the purpose of financing costs of box culvert replacements as the following locations: Buck Street, Hurricane Road, Wilson Road, and Wood Road.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second? All right. Box culverts, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The one thing I want to convey to the public and the council is when you think of a culvert, a lot of people think of the culvert in front of their driveway, under a road, things like that. Basically, what we are talking about is small bridges, just under the state definition for the state to have a bridge. They are very large structures. They cost an insane amount of money, as you can see, and we have them all throughout Gorham. This bond, or proposed bond package before the voters came about, one, because we had some culverts coming up for replacement. Two, we had the blowout of the Buck Street culvert, so the council is aware that that blew out in a storm, and even if we had the money to repair it, it requires voter authorization because it's over $500,000. So we're starting to, a lot of our projects are starting to creep up over the charter cap yet again. The council authorized changing that, go before the voters five years ago, something like that. So there's the charter approval, as well as the other dynamic is one of these projects could eat up half or a third of the entire capital maintenance budget for the Public Works Department in any given year. So we wanted to bundle them together. They are 50-plus year investments. So it's not like it's a 15-year fix or something like that. This would go before the voters. And if approved, we would go to market at the same time, hypothetically with the school, with the school bond, whatever happens there. Well, we would go to market at the same time. Happy to answer any questions. Public Works Director is here as well.
All right. Any questions, comments? Councilor Kush?
Not a question so much as a comment to as we were talking about paving over things, but we're talking about 50 years approximately for these to last. And after traveling back and forth to Vermont this last weekend, the weather is just so unpredictable. We can hardly see water in the rivers and streams now, but a year ago, people died in Vermont because of flash flooding. So I think that whatever we can do to get ready for the changes in weather are appropriate at this time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I mean,
Go ahead.
I mean, people need roads to drive on, so, they kind of have to do it, so.
Counselor Sims?
Yeah. And the further out we build the roads, the more, dependent we all are 100% on them. Do we have a sense of about how many residences are on these 4 stretches of road? Ballpark, is it like 100 or?
The Public Works Director knows the specifics, but I don't know, not the specifics of how many houses. He doesn't have that off the top of his head, but
Right.
More specifics on the roads. I mean, some of these roads have a lot of connectivity.
They have a lot, yeah.
Buck Street culvert, and I'm not saying this like we shouldn't replace it. It is a connector, but you can get around it. Some of the other ones, they're not as easy to get around and have a fair amount of traffic on them.
Yeah.
We also, the one thing I didn't mention is we routinely apply for DEP funding to offset the cost. We never get the full amount. It's not uncommon that we might get $100,000, $200,000, something like that, but it still doesn't necessarily offset the price of these. A lot of them are very site specific. So like that's why Buck Street costs so much money. It's not like it's a bigger culvert per se, maybe a little bigger, but it's the design, the layout. Probably part of the reason that one blew out is how it was originally done 60, 70 years ago. Terry, would that be a fair? He's chatting with the other staff members. Terry, would it be fair to say some of these culverts are 50, 60, 70 years old? Do you want to speak to that?
I'll give you the history.
The condensed history?
Yeah.
I believe that all these culverts were installed, except for the multiples on Hurricane Road, are at least 1940s to 1950s versions of culverts. The other thing that Efren hasn't kind of let you in on is we have to follow a very strict design to protect the environment. The culverts are way oversized to allow excessive rain to go through them and also allow fish and other animals to get in and out of these culverts. And the Buck Street culvert is very unique because we're trying to do a realignment of the water there so it doesn't cause problems on landowners on the downstream side. We've had a lot of overtopping there because the stream does not follow the correct path, and we're trying to correct that with this. And as Ephraim alluded to, anything over 20 foot in width is considered a bridge, and that $2 million wouldn't replace one of those culverts if they called it a bridge. So everything, we try to keep it under 20 foot.
Thank you.
Just one question, just kind of out of curiosity. What are the driving factors in the cost going up on them? Is it just the materials? Is it the pipe?
It's a bridge. When you say bridge, your liabilities change. The DOT gets involved. There's a different scale of engineering that goes into it. These box culverts that we're putting in, we have done 2, one on Westcott Road, one on Plummer Road. They're a massive piece of concrete that is just, it's very highly engineered, and when you go over that 20-foot span, your engineering has to be that much more. The load ratings change. There's just a lot of things that when you say it's a bridge, you're really looking at a whole different animal, and we try not. I don't want to build any bridges here in town, to be quite honest with you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Chair?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, I see these are in alphabetical order, but they're also numbered. Are they numbered in list of priority at all, or?
I'm going to be 100% honest. It was a copy and paste job on my part. So my guess is it's not in list of priority. It's just
The Buck Street project right now, because as everybody knows, the Buck Street culvert has deteriorated to a point where there was no road over the top of it anymore. And the culvert has certainly outlived its useful life expectancy. That to me is the top of the list. As Efferman's kind of alluded to, we've gone out to bid on that. We have a price. We've awarded the bid. The culvert's already been engineered. And with that road being closed, that will be the first project done if we get funding for it. If we don't get funding for it, it'll just stay status quo at this point.
Okay. So Buck Street is the priority, but the others are not listed in any order, is what you're saying?
Correct. And we have a window. Another environmental concern we have a window, and I think it's sometime in July till sometime in September, that they have to have all in-stream work done in like a 60 or 65-day window. So if this gets approved, The culverts will be made this winter. Again, 2 contractors have already engineered the culverts, just waiting for winter to build them if this gets approved. And they will be ready to go in whenever that window exactly is. I don't have the exact dates, but I think it's July and September.
Okay.
So-
Excellent. So just to say it out loud as you're saying it, just if this does get approved, the actual fixes would happen in the summer. We should anticipate.
We're planning on doing 3 of the 4 projects. If this gets approved, we're ready to go on 3 of the 4 projects. The Wood Road Culvert project is not ready to go. It has not been designed. We kind of held off on that because, quite honestly, I didn't want to spend a lot of money to design a culvert, which if I didn't know it was going to go in. It's a lot of money to get the design. It's a lot of legwork on us and the engineers, and I wasn't willing to spend the taxpayers' money for something that might not happen, but we're hopeful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to be clear, if we vote for this tonight or don't vote for it, and then the voters turn it down, these still need to get done, correct? So that's going to come out of your general operating fund, right? So you're going to be paving less roads and sidewalks.
The issue is going to be is no matter if this doesn't get voted on, then the voters will have to vote on it again to vote, even to use the budget money, because it has to, over $500,000 has to go to the voters. And yes, if this doesn't get approved and we get funded through the budget and the voters approve of that expenditure, then we will go with that again. But I will caution you that if we go that route, I don't believe these projects will be done next year because of the time frame and the voting.
Okay.
And if that happens, I would believe that our contractors, which they're very graciously holding their prices for us right now, will not hold the price for another year.
Right.
And we also have some potential grants that we'll not get if we don't do these projects next year.
Thank you, Terry. And I just have one more comment, then I'll be quiet. To me, I see this as something that benefits the people of Gorham. It's a long-term investment. I represent all of Gorham, not just the dense part of it. And the people that live up on those more rural streets are just as important that people that live on our state roads. So.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I really want to see Buck Street taken care of, and as Terry said, it's, it would still have to be approved by the voters no matter where we got the money from. I regularly take Wilson Road, Hurricane Road. I would hate for the next scenario to be the same situation we're in with Buck Street, where it goes, we have to wait and do that whole thing again, so I'm happy to send this to the voters. Councilor Gagnon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Is Douglas Brook deep? Is that the area that you're looking for the culvert?
I believe a piece of it is. I'm not really good schooled at what piece of water we're working on, but it's fairly deep. In certain times of the year, it's not so deep. Like right now, the water is probably as low on Buck Street as we've seen it. And
is there any fish in that area?
Yeah, there is. And that's part of why these culverts have to be so big.
Yeah.
We have to meet a criteria that it's safe for fish passage.
Does the state stock fish in that area?
It's all natural.
Is it all
brook
natural?
habitat? Yeah.
Okay. So don't fish that area, or do fish that area?
I would fish it, yeah.
So would we want to make it a little bit of a little carve out on that area so people could fish off the side of the road?
Well, there's places to fish. You can get off the road. Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, just a clarifying question. I think Public Works Director mentioned it, as did the Town Manager. It sounds like there might be some grant opportunities to help support some of these projects.
Thank you. I believe every round of DEP funding that comes out for a culvert, we go after it. Doesn't mean we get it.
Yeah.
We've gotten 2 or 3 in the last.
I will tell you folks right now, just this afternoon, we got awarded a $25,000 grant towards the design of the Wood Road culverts. So, and there was some other rounds of grants that are coming up. It's like every year. It's very competitive. We were successful in getting grants for the Westcott Road culvert, and part of it, quite honestly, was because of the natural brook trout fishery that Gorham is very lucky to have, and those folks are really interested in these projects. But as of right now, it's a crapshoot. You throw your name in the bucket, and Buck Street did not get any grant approval when we applied because of the size of the culvert, quite honestly. So,
Well, I don't know if there's a way to, and you don't have the grant money guaranteed yet, so I guess you can't indicate that in the bond language on the voters, but obviously we'll strive to do it as, if we can find other sources other than the local taxpayer, we'll certainly do what we can.
In a clarifying point, if we get a grant later, we're obviously not going to spend the money. So
Right,
if it's
right.
$200,000 less, $100,000 less, whatever it is, we don't go out and just spend extra money,
Yeah.
for the sake of it.
Absolutely. Well, and I'd like to just clarify, totally maintaining our existing infrastructure, 100%. If we can, let's make the smart investments now so it lasts as long as possible. We save money down the road. And I think that's just the cautionary tale is let's be as thoughtful as possible when we're putting in more infrastructure.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess for this item and the last item, I just hope that we can get as much information out to the public as possible, because these are two different things. And so when they're out there, I want people to understand exactly what they're for, so.
We'll get a video of Public Works jumping the Buck Street void
just go up
right
and take a
now
look at the
put that
Buck
on.
Street culvert. That's
Get it
all
to go
I
viral.
encourage anybody to go up and look at the culvert, and that's kind of what we're up against with that criteria of culvert.
Thank you. All right, no more discussion. All right, all those in favor? 7 yeas.
Item 2025-9-3, action regarding the November 4th, 2025 annual municipal election, administrator sponsored. Proposed Order 2599, order that the Town Council authorizes the Town Clerk to issue the warrant for the November 4th, 2025 annual municipal election, and be it further ordered that the polls to be open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., and be it further ordered that the Town Council appoints the following persons for the designated voted district, and if any of the following should fail to serve, the Town Council hereby authorizes the Town Clerk to appoint substitutes. District 1-1, Susan Emerson, Warden, Laurel Smith, Ward Clerk. District 1-2, Rosemond Finney, Warden, Marie Plummer, Ward Clerk. District 2, Carol Wyman, Warden, Martha Toll, Ward Clerk. Central, Kim Getchell, Warden, Alita Landry, Ward Clerk. Be it further ordered that the Register of Voters be in session during the hours of 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Tuesday, October 28th through Thursday, October 30th, and Monday, November 3rd. And be it further ordered that the Town Clerk be authorized to process absentee ballots on Tuesday, October 28th through Tuesday, November 4th, starting at 8 a.m. each day.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Siegel. Lori, thank you for all that you do at the election time. I know it can be crazy at times, so thank you for all the work that you and your staff do. Welcome. Any other discussion?
I have a question. Without going back into the history of this, Kathy Corbett was a...
Yep, actually, I'd like to thank Kathy Corbett for all her lovely, wonderful years. She's moving to California.
Thank you. I just wanted to have her mentioned in the record.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, all those in favor? 7 yeas.
Item 2025-9-4, action to consider approving applications from the Senior Property Tax Relief Program, administrator sponsored. Proposed Order 25-100, order that the Town Council approve all qualifying applications from the Senior Property Tax Relief Program as reviewed and recommended by staff in the total amount of $81,350.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Siegel. You can explain what this is, I guess.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Senior Property Tax Relief Program is a program the council's had in place since, I believe, 2018. And essentially, it provides a rebate to seniors that are over 65 and a resident for 5 years and meet a certain income to property tax to value, or excuse me, income to property tax formula. The seniors are either eligible for a $500, $350, or $200 rebate. You're approving $81,350, and I believe you received copies of a summary sheet from Lori's office of the history of the program. So for the most part, it's been increasing over the years, and we have enough allocation. Every year, if we don't use what I have allocated in the budget, we roll it over for contingency for the program. Happy to answer any questions.
That was going to be my question. Do we roll it over? Thank you. Anyone else? All right, all those in favor? 7 yeas.
Item 2025-9-5, action to consider appointing members to the Affordable Housing Committee Appointments Committee sponsored. Proposed Order 25-101, order that the Town Council appoint the following members to the Affordable Housing Committee: Jan Parker and Catherine Moran for a 1-year term, Rob Korobkin, Zach Shabbat for a 2-year term, Greg McCormick, Dan Nichols, and Christine Dyke for the 3-year term.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Willis. So this came from the Appointments Committee. If anybody wants to speak about it, I mean, this is just obviously you went through the interviews.
Thank you to everyone that applied, and thank you for everyone who continues to volunteer their time. Yeah.
Any questions or comments?
Just one quick question. What will be like the cadence of the meetings? When's the first one?
The committee will figure that out themselves.
Got it.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor? 7 yeas.
Item 2025-3-11, action to consider amending the Land Use and Development Code to reduce and/or eliminate traffic generation requirements for accessory dwelling units on private ways. Ordinance Committee sponsored. Proposed Order 25-102, order that the Town Council forwards amendments to the Land Use and Development Code to the Planning Board for public hearing and recommendation as follows. Chapter 2, Accessory Apartments. Accessory apartments is a permitted use in all zoning districts which allows single-family dwelling or a lot where a single family exists, subject to the approval of the code enforcement officer in adherence to the following standards. Only one accessory apartment shall be permitted on a lot, and this one accessory apartment per lot shall be exempt from the requirement of being considered a dwelling unit being served by a private way. Additions are underlined.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Sims. All right, this came from the Ordinance Committee, but the Town Manager can go ahead and describe it if you want.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So under our current zoning, if you live on a private way, and I forget the exact number of units on each level of a private way, but just let's say hypothetically it's 10, there's 8 houses on that private way, 2 ADUs come in, now that private way is built to a capacity. So no additional ADUs for any of the other properties are allowed. This would allow an exemption for the first ADU, or basically allow every property to have an ADU regardless of the limitation on the roadway standards for the private way. Is that correct, Tom? Awesome, I got a thumbs up. Happy to answer any questions or make Tom do it.
Any questions, comments? All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? 1, Gagnon.
Item 2025-9-6, action to consider discontinuing a contract zone at 61 County Road. Councilor Willis sponsored. Proposed Order 25-103, order that the Town Council forwards to the Planning Board for public hearing and recommendation, discontinuing a contract zone at 61 County Road, map 6, lot 36, at the request of the property owner.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Lavoy. All right, Counselor Willis, I mean, this is pretty obvious.
I feel like we do this every month
Yeah.
right now. As the town manager noted, their staff has reached out to everybody who currently has a contract zone out there on County Road to offer them to go in on this together and do it at one time in the future. This particular property owner reached out prior to that, kind of started the process and wanted to stay on the timeline that they were currently on, so they've asked to be on the agenda this month.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's what's going to happen. We're going to ask everybody and lump them together.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So staff have reached out. There's approximately 14 contract zones in South Gorham. 7 to 8 of those, ones that maybe 7 have reached back out and said yes, including the one we're speaking about, that they'd like to discuss having it discontinued as a group.
Okay.
But the council can move this one forward if that's what the council would like to do. And at a later meeting, we could lump the rest of them together. It's entirely up to the council.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments? Counselor Kush, go ahead.
I have a question about reading through the contract zone language, and I won't pretend I really understand it all, but have any fees been collected? Fees won't be collected because there's no plan coming forward? How does that part work?
Thank you, and Tom can correct me if I'm wrong on any of these. The South Gorham contract zones did not, had their fees waived initially for the creation of the zone. To discontinue the zone, we are assessing a $750 fee for that process. If a group of them came together, we could have them split that cost. It's more the administrative costs. If they go their own, it'd just be by themselves. But I don't believe any other fees have been assessed, maybe on some development that had sewer-specific funding requirements if they triggered that at the time.
Yeah, this one, 61 County Road, did pay fees. They went through the development process. They got a commercial development on the site, so they did pay both sewer impact fee as well as some of the contract zone fees. So they paid fees that was required as part of that contract zone. But not all of them have paid fees. So it's like, as the town manager says, it's dependent on whether they move forward with a commercial development or not. This one did, so we paid.
Thank you very much.
Oh, and just for the council, I'm going to bring back all the contract zones with a recommendation from the planning board at one time. So you'll, at a meeting in the future, they will all be coming forward with a recommendation. This one will get lumped in with all of them. Just because it's as fast as him going by alone. So we're going to include them with everybody else.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Gagnon?
Thank you. Janet brought up the fees, so now I get to mention it. This is another example, Madam Chair, of we asked for money, it was deferred, and now we're not getting anything for what amounts to a ton of staff time and, I guess, wheel spinning, right? So this is not a good use of town staff time, in my opinion, then, right? We didn't get anything of it. So I say pourquoi, right, of why? Why did we go through this process? And going forward, Madam Chair, I will not support anything that we are not getting paid up front for now. This is becoming all too evident of a pattern of people asking for favors or, exceptions, and then expecting an outcome that doesn't happen, and then we both don't get anything. So, thank you.
Thank you. I think for, just to clarify, I guess, when these were all done, nobody had any plans, correct? I mean, you weren't even here, so.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe Tom and I can talk about this, but I think it was just, everybody kind of wanted that. I think that moving forward, all of our contract zones have been with a plan, correct? And so they're paying the fees?
Yes, as of several years ago, we started requiring upfront that they have to pay the fee for the process and whatever that is, $2,500, I'm going off memory.
$3,500 plus public notice
Plus
fees.
notices and all that.
So to even get like on the agenda?
To even go to the planning board, you have to have paid it. So it's none of the, we'll cover it later. That was adopted, or we did that administratively several years ago.
Councilor Sims?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just one comment, not to belabor the conversation too much, but I do think it is interesting. I mean, this whole, saga here kind of demonstrates the sort of arbitrary nature of the zoning. They just made up a zone and then they decided they wanted to change it again. And it's very difficult to predict exactly what uses will and won't make sense in any particular place. And we've got 50 square miles here. So, I think that our zoning generally is too restrictive in many places. We say we want to be more business friendly, and yet we've outlawed any commercial activity in many of the places where the most people are. So this is just craziness. It's always healthy to continue to reassess the current plan and the current zoning. And that's obviously what these people are kind of doing here. The crazy drama continues, I guess. There'll be more conversations to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would just restate, out of fairness to this specific applicant, that they did pay their fees when they went through this process, and that is one of the differences between this one and some of the others that we brought forward, some of the others that have come forward. we're still basically raw land, right? Where this is a finished product that now they are marketing their business and their building, is my understanding, and they're under the advice that the underlying zoning is more friendly to them than what they have for the contract zone, so they're trying to get that removed. So these guys have gone through the process and paid their dues.
Thank you. All right. No other questions or comments? All those in favor? 7 yeas.
Item 2025-9-7, action to go into executive session for personnel and economic development matters, administrative sponsor. Proposed Order 25-104, order that the Town Council enter into executive session pursuant to 1 MRSA 405-6A, personnel matters, and 1 MRSA 405-6C, for discussion of consideration of the condition, acquisition, or the use of real or personal property permanently attached to real property or interest therein, of disposition of publicly held property or economic development, only if premature disclosures of the information would prejudice the competitive or bargaining position of the body or agency.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Councilor Sims. All right, just as a reminder, we won't be coming back into the chambers, and we won't be voting on anything else after this. So all those in favor? 7 yeas. Thank you.